Hi, I'm Milton Rendell. Welcome to Real News Friday. Been an interesting couple of weeks, obviously with COVID thrown in between, has affected some of the figures that are out there. So let's have a look at the figures and see what they've done. In terms of sales, 813, that's down 12% on the previous week. House sales were down in volume, 3%. Units down 16%. And land sales down 61%, so people obviously not out and about, so the old house and land packages are obviously slowed down last week. In terms of stock, there's 8,558 properties out there on the market. That's up 1%, still down 18% on 12 months ago. But again, we're starting to see this figure start to move up a little bit, so that's maybe a little bit of a softening, but still far ahead of where we were previously. Now, in terms of rentals, we've had an increase in the number of rentals out in the markets, up to 3,013. That's up 7%. That's also up 5% for the last month, but still down 24% on a year ago. But that would show a softening, but again, this might be the COVID influence, or I call it the mark influence. It may be because of what we had in terms of the shutdown and the masks, etc. So let's see where that leads, because we weren't open, a lot of agencies weren't open for during that period. So we will see what impact that has. We'll have probably better reflection what's going on probably in about a month's time. Also around school holidays, it does get quieter. That's fairly traditional, but we are seeing still a much better market than we had 2 years ago. That's for certain. There's no doubt about that. So that seems to continue to go that way. Now, I've got some interesting figures here in terms of volumes of sales to suburbs. The Greater Perth, we're up 29% for the last financial year, so that's certainly a definite improvement for everyone, and that's probably a very noticeable one. But I've got some figures here on some other suburbs just to reflect on, and that'll sort of give you an idea where we are. Got to keep in mind though that some suburbs have increased quite substantially, but the volumes are still not what I'd call huge, but you remember that they're much better than what they were. So the top one was Ridgewood, up 122%, Medora Bay up 121%, Two Rocks up 115%, Koodanup up 110%, Bullsbrook up 103%. Now Bullsbrook's an interesting one because there's only 63 transactions, but it is up 103%. Trig up 103%. Again, only 67 transactions during that time. Dawesville, obviously down that way, had been hit fairly hard, and probably 2-3 years ago the volumes were very low. Up 94%. The volume is about 209 transactions. Lesmurdy up 90%. There was 129 transactions, and Westminster up 81%, which transactions about 161. So again, just be mindful what number they're coming off, because if you went from 2 sales to 4, we get a 100% increase. So somewhere like Hazelmead look like it's booming. So you've got to be mindful of the figures, and also sometimes median prices do not reflect what the true market is doing. But overall, we're still seeing plenty of improvement. Unemployment is still low, and overall we're still improving. But to find out more about real estate, check out realestateplus.com.au, and look forward to seeing you next week. And you never know, Emily might come back in the room after she sneezed and farted and done everything else that she's trying to do in the background. It's all on video. I'm talking about you.
I can feel it there.
I'm sitting there going, oh, this is going to blow up right in the middle of it. So we'll see if it affects it. You're still taping me. You better turn it off.